So my father was in the Navy, so I was born in France. We moved back when I was quite young, and my father was still in the Navy and lived down along Lee Street. So I grew up in that neighborhood, grew up playing in the river, fishing in the river a lot. Spent time in New England in the summers, so I've always enjoyed that, and it got me very interested in the nature and outdoors. And so I studied geology at the St. Lawrence University in upstate New York, and then I went on to graduate school in Canada, the University of Western Ontario. It took me a while to get back to Alexandria, but eventually I came back. The environment has always been very important to me, and I guess I can owe that in part to my mother, who was an artist, and she was a watercolorist, pen and ink, but she loved birds and nature. When I started living back in Alexandria, I started looking at, well, what was the city doing to protect its environment or not protect its environment? I think the first thing I did, and thank Krista Waters from the Gazette Packet, I started writing a column, a bi-weekly column, Earthwatch Alexandria, which I did for several years. That led me to sort of looking at everything Alexandria was doing to protect the environment. That led to politics, because then I got to know a lot more about all the small, special places in the town and the things we were doing or not doing to protect the environment. People ask all the time, is Alexandria really an eco-city? Should it be called that? I think we're doing a much better job now, but I think we're having to catch up for many decades of not doing enough. It's really a tough thing to do when the value of land is so high. How do we weave nature into an urban area and preserve it and protect it and add to it? Some people have said I'm a little too brash, and I think for me it's always been a very passionate response. So when I feel strongly that things are not being done that should be, that are not right, then it's pretty easy for me to speak up. When I was on the city council, I really enjoyed that role of trying to help make decisions better, have the community try to weave their concerns into decision making. Spent a lot of time, working on issues on the city, and because I care deeply about the community and the environment. And we need more people to step up. Thank goodness I'm not the only one. There's lots of great people, and it's just a matter of knitting these relationships together to work on issues. And I've always felt, and this is, we've had many discussions about this, at the waterfront, we need to be much more concerned about getting access into the river. It's one of our greatest open spaces, the Potomac. So things that we can do, not just to put a hotel on the restaurant, but how do we actually get people to enjoy and get out in the river and things like that. If we work together, we can make a huge difference. I mean, the stream restoration, Taylor Run and Chinkapin, I think that showed the community came together. The arena fight showed that the community can come together. This is a great town, but we need to work even harder to protect what is very special about it and to improve those things that we see as weaknesses.